We also have coming up next month the music festival. That's another area of tourism. Of course, it's entertainment tourism. Would you like to speak a little bit on that, Mrs. Williams?
Music festival, everybody familiar. We've already announced our first set of performers, July 23rd to 25th, the usual last full weekend, full weekend of June. For music festival, what they're working on, they're trying to secure one other international act for music festival, and they should be announcing that shortly, so people have that to look forward to. But I know already persons are already interested in what we have, the lineup, and what we try to do with this year's lineup, because we're celebrating the 20th anniversary. Because I've heard some people complain, well, you've brought back Morgan Heritage, you've brought them before. The idea was that we're going to bring the best of our 20 years, and nobody can argue that Morgan Heritage has been one of our best over the 20 years, and some other persons, and we're going to blend the old with the new, because we're looking at the past, celebrating having reached thus far with the music festival. Because what a lot of people do not realize, that our music festival has survived where other music festivals have not, and we did not have the support as some of our neighboring islands who had big name organizations like BET and all of that to support them when they started. It was just governments funding, our local sponsors and volunteers who has brought music festival over the past 20 years. And we should say kudos to ourselves. We've done extremely well. St. Lucia is 25 years, St. Kitts is 20 years, St. Kitts is 20 years of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, right? And it's something we should be justly proud of. And the lineup is a spectacular lineup. We follow what we've done over the years. The fringe activities, I mean, we're getting more and more fringe activities around the music festival. We have groups. I know, for example, there's a group who's speaking about coming. They were coming here for one activity, and they said, why not tie it to the same time, a wedding? Their family's having a wedding. They're coming down about 100 strong, and they purposely scheduled it around the music festival weekend. So they captured the two things, and they're possibly gonna stay on for CPL, which is right after the music festival. And that was the idea behind the creation of a music festival, to fill beds during a period when things would have been slow. We want our businesses to stay open longer. Just recently I was looking at the news, Venezuela is having 2-day work weeks. We know of the time when we used to have hotel staff having 3-day work weeks. When we have activities like this, you know, we will not be running into those cases where we have to have shorter work weeks, but people's obligations remain the same. Right? So that is one of the things. Music festival, yes, we want our local people to enjoy it, but we also want people to come in and stay in the hotels, to spend money, because they might not stay in the hotel, but they might rent a car. They stay with a friend, they rent a car, they buy stuff locally, and so we're gonna bring back activities like the fringe activity in the square during the daytime, or if some other local private person wants to have an activity during the daytime, because yes, you go to the music festival at the night, but our people, and that's where community tourism comes in, come up with the ideas. Maybe a community can have a festival during the day, so people come and sit down, maybe down in Oldwood, you sit down by the bottle tree and you have some sprat with cornmeal or cassava bread with a local jam during the days after the music festival. So that is what it is all about.
Okay, we spoke so much about the importance of tourism, but how do you get it across to our people that tourism is really linked to national development? Some persons still see tourism as you are serving the white man. You're serving the white man, and that slavery is still with us. So instead of looking at it as the hotels, some people say, have become the new plantations. But that's a view of looking at it in terms of servitude on one hand and hospitality on the other. How do you get it across to people that tourism is not really about servitude, but it's about service?
It is through programs like these, so we are in the right forum, because it's only through awareness and exposure that persons will realize that tourism is everybody's business. Tourism is not about servitude, it's about service. And that it's not only on the local level, it's not even on the regional level. Tourism is a global industry, and most countries around the world have seen the benefits of tourism and are pursuing it as a main economic earner.
Working for you, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Williams and your panelists.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I quite enjoyed some of the presentation. I missed some. Now, let's talk about, I heard this thing about introducing the tourism thing in school. I think it is now being pursued in Jamaica. It is part of the curriculum now. Now, our people, to me, are not very friendly. I have traveled quite a bit, and among the ordinary people, you will find an appreciation of foreigners. We are not hostile, but neither are we very approachable. And I was wondering, how can we get around to getting our people, to be a little more friendly? The foreigners, sometimes they may walk up to their tray or so, and they allow the people to stand up, watch, and go. Not even a little greeting or nothing. Now let's get to the taxi and tour operators. I have seen boats coming in here where you have French and Spanish passengers. Has the tourism authority thought about giving the taxi drivers some sort of training, in simple Spanish, greeting them, how do you sell your business in Spanish or French? Have you ever pursued it? I heard one this morning, and it was a tour, but the person was using a Dominican, Santo Domingo person, to do the talking for them. And I say that's a shame, because all of us, including to, would have done at least 2 years in high school doing Spanish and French, but there seems to be no connection between what is taught in the high school as Spanish and French as to what goes on in the community. And we have got to find a way of linking it. You understand? It don't make any sense boats coming in here full of people, and our people cannot converse with them. So what are you, or the tourist board, or the tourism department, what are you doing to help our people to become more fluent? There used to be a program some years ago on the radio, I don't know if you recall. I think it was put on by the Venezuelan Institute, and I think France Alliance used to put on the French too. So it's one of the organizers to brush off their tapes, look them up, and start to play them on the radio again. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Henry.
I'm very surprised with the response. I'm not totally surprised by the response regarding our people not being friendly, because I've heard that before, and I think to us, our people are not friendly.
Yes.
But every time the Tourism Authority does a survey, one of the top things that we get, the responses of what attracts people to our destination, is our warm and friendly people. That is not to say we are satisfied. As a matter of fact, one person described this phenomenon as our people having split personalities. We are not very warm to our own, but we are extremely nice and hospitable to foreigners, right? This comes through education, and that is what we are here about. This is what we are going into the schools about, to keep at it, to keep reminding our people. It goes down to the golden rule, and that is what it is about. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And if we practice that, it doesn't matter whether it's a visitor or your neighbor. If you do that all the time, then it will come so easy, it will be a part of you. The tourism education program is going to be promoting it, that we be approachable. You can go into a store and people can just say good morning. And while we find it funny, I keep telling people about this story. We have a consultant who works with us. She started working with us some time ago, and one of the things she likes when she comes into our office is that we say good morning to each other. As you come in the door, you say good morning. I thought it was funny because I'm like, so you mean people just walk into an office and don't say anything? And it's quite possible that where she comes from in the United States, that is the order of the day. For us, we take it for granted. As you walk into a room, you say good morning or good afternoon. She finds that so enjoyable. She goes around telling everybody about it, right? So while I will not say we can rest on our laurels, and based on the fact that surveys say we're warm and hospitable, we still need to brush up. And through our awareness programs and the tourism education programs, I believe the change will come. It will not come overnight, but it will come.
And then she spoke about the need for people who are competent in speaking foreign languages. Of course, you know, tourism is something that is global. We live in a world where there are several languages. She speaks. Working for you. Good afternoon.
You working for me?
Yes, we are working for you.
Okay, thanks. I'm coming for me pay.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams and
Good
company.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As usual, good informative program. Now, I have a question. Has it been done already? And that question is to have a postcard or a view card of Kim Collins, an exhibition around the world. Because the advertisement that come from Kim Collins, we cannot afford to pay for that. So therefore, I want to know if he is already on postcard that people could see the man and they could learn about things. It's all because of Kim Collins. So if that is not done yet, I would like the tourism department to look into that. And the next thing again, the engine railway that they spoke about. Mr. Politics is right. People build house and fence right on the engine line. So a donkey with a cook could hardly pass through. Never mind the engine, so all them fences gonna have to break down because all of them build up just go down and squat on the government property without any permission. So we could have the line that the train could go round and round wherever they go. So tourism, please look into that. And then the next thing, the last thing, what I think should be done to anybody who want to go in the tourism transportation service, and also those who are in, ever so often you have classes and educate them of the history of the country, because some of them don't know the history of the country. Imagine a taxi operator was carrying some tourists down west, and when they reach Bloody Point, Bloody River, when the tourists ask him, what is that? What is Bloody River all about? Hear he, Mommy, they said they had a big fight up there some time ago and the blood run down here. No, I mean, I don't even have the tourists them understand that kind of dialect. So they need, you know, they need to be educated ever so often.
Okay.
So that's my input for the day.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thanks again.
Okay.
Hello.
Looking for good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes.
I would like to ask the Prime Minister one question. I would like to know why, like how he been calling him and talking and saying that.
Right. The Prime Minister is not here. Buckingfield, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. I want to sound a note of warning here.
Yes.
The panelists in general,
yes.
but Madam Permanent Secretary, I think, or Acting Permanent Secretary in particular, has been emphasizing the role of education in spreading the gospel of tourism. Well, I am not one of those who particularly espouses tourism as a major means of economic activity. But I want to advise that when we speak of putting things in the schools and educating our people and making it a must that they be educated in certain areas, we have to be careful. But if we're going to include tourism education as part of the curriculum, exactly what are we talking about? Who is going to construct the instructional content? Who is going to deliver? Who is going to monitor and assess? Because for years, we've been teaching French and Spanish in schools. For years, Mrs. Morton, Miss Morton Novelet herself was once a teacher of those languages, I think. And what is the result? Are we satisfied with the output of students who would have been exposed to years of instruction in French and Spanish in terms of their ability to converse in the language? We've been teaching Ag Science for umpteen years. Are we satisfied with what the students have been outputting with respect to what they have taken in as per agricultural science? We've been teaching something called history since time immemorial. And our caller just mentioned that too many of the taxi drivers are ignorant of the history of the island and of history in general. So when we say we're going to put something in the curriculum, we have to be careful. Are we going to be satisfied with simply putting it on and ensuring that it is part of the timetable? Because I am convinced, in fact, I lament the fact that by and large, the outcomes, the outputs of education are not worth the investment. So if we're going to include tourism now as part of an already packed, overcrowded curriculum, we have to be sure that that which we expect to be the outcome, the result, really is accompanied by a mechanism that guarantees it. Thank you.
Thank you. We have to keep looking on the positive side, you know. And it is important to teach tourism in the schools. Buckingfield, good afternoon.
Yes, left by.
Yes, sir.
This is the only seditionist in this country speaking now. Hello, Miss Morton. I have a question and I have some suggestions for tourism. See, when you have 3 and 4 cruise ships down at the dock, you ain't got sufficient bathrooms to facilitate the guests and the island. And I suggest that bathroom there, right there by where Barrel operate, in the future you should take it and put all bathrooms to accommodate these old people. You understand? It's awful. For why are being seen down there, these old people got to pee in themselves to reach to the Pelican Mall and to reach where you got to go and pay to the back where they got a bathroom. These things got to come to an end. It's time now we step up the time. You're talking about million and plus tourists. We have to do the proper things that should be done. Monday you had a carnival cruise line down there from after 5. Mosquito like down in the port. These things have to be. Miss Morton, because when I talk, I get so passionate and I don't want this to nobody.
All right, jam down. Okay, we have to be wrapping up. We are out of time, really, and you know we've had a very lively discussion today. I wish that you will come back. Is there anything that you would like to say in addressing the callers? Some of the things that they said. Anything at all?
Just to say in response to Mr. Blake's query, that the curriculum that we're following is the curriculum set by the Caribbean Tourism Organization. Mm-hmm. They have a set curriculum, they have modules, books, they have workbooks, and that is what a number of other countries have been using. Nevis for one, they've been using it for in excess of 8-10 years. So we are just following what the pattern, and it's been tried and true because it's been proven that persons who have been exposed to tourism education are a lot more aware, and in the case of Nevis have been to placing in competitions, coming first, etc., and doing very well. So we don't see ourselves being any different.
Right. So we can say that there are many benefits to be derived from people being educated. Sometimes you don't see the immediate benefits, but it's there. Because I remember things that I learned from history way back in high school. I still remember it. And if people are having tourism education in the schools and so on, I am sure that some of it will stick. People become more aware, and they will understand the importance of this industry to our national and human development.
Just adding to what Mrs. Williams had said before pertaining to the railway and the last caller who called pertaining to that, I just wanted to say that the railway, of course, is a national and historic landmark, and of course persons couldn't have thought that they would be squatting without government's intervention, but definitely something will be done as we are trying to use the railway for a Rails to Trails project. So when we reach that bridge, we will most definitely cross it.
And for me, the French and Spanish, I am very passionate about that issue with regard to persons being able to greet them. We have tried to have classes. We've spoken to the Alliance Française and the Venezuelan Institute to have special classes for adults, specifically taxi operators. The thing is, people did not take up the opportunity. And it is not just about French and Spanish anymore. We are getting many more ships from Europe, so we have many more foreign language speakers, Germans, regularly, and Italians. We want people to recognize this. And while the caller spoke about having a translator, as if it were something wrong, it can also be another opportunity. So we have foreign language tour guides as well as taxi operators or drivers. That can be two jobs, whereas currently we have a situation where we expect the driver to also be the guide. So we can look at that as a future opportunity when we are having 1 million visitors. I also want to end what I had said about sustainable tourism. Just last week, Philippe Cousteau, who is the grandson of Jacques Cousteau, the famous aquanaut, said he's longing for the day when sustainable tourism will just be called tourism. I am longing for the day when our sustainable destination management is just destination management, which benefits tourism.
Okay, well, we're out of time. I want to thank you three ladies for your valuable contribution today on our program, Working for You. I want to thank Mrs. Williams, Dianelle Taylor Williams, Miss Novinette Morton, and Miss Shalene Welcome. Thank you very much for being here today. I want to thank all our listeners and those of you who called in with your suggestions, your questions, your ideas, your commentaries, whatever. We value your support and we appreciate you very much every week. You have been listening to Working for You.
Working for You. a weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Roy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for you ears weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and